don't know about you, but I love pumpkin. And the great thing about it, it's healthy for you too. You know, that rich orange color means it has a lot of beta carotene. And beta carotene helps your body make vitamin A. And vitamin A is great for your eyesight. It also helps your immune system and helps you fight infections. Research is going on where they believe that pumpkin can help lower your glucose and increase your insulin production. So if you're pre-diabetic, great thing to use. And some studies have shown that a diet high in pumpkin or squash products can actually help prevent certain types of cancer. But I'm not making it for all those reasons. My granddaughter's coming this weekend and she loves pumpkin pie, and so do I. But I thought, I'm not going to make a pumpkin pie. I'm going to try making pumpkin pie roll-ups. Now I got the roll-up recipe that I'm using from GeorgiaPellerini.com, and I have a link down below to her website and to this recipe. Now the ingredients are pretty simple. We of course are going to want our 15-ounce can of pumpkin puree. That's pure pumpkin. And then a cup of unsweetened applesauce. It could be your home canned or store-bought. 1/4 cup of honey back here. 1 cup of coconut milk. And I'm using organic coconut milk. And then for our spices, we have 1 teaspoon of our cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of nutmeg, 1/2 teaspoon of ground cloves, and another 1/2 teaspoon of ground ginger. It's optional, but you can add a little real lemon just to give it a little bit of a tang. Basically right now we're just going to dump everything in. Here's our pumpkin. It looks such a bright orange, doesn't it? Look at all that beta carotene. Gosh, it smells good too. Get it all out. Anything left? Okay. Now we'll put in our coconut milk. Our applesauce. All of our great smelling spices and our honey. Now I'm going to hand mix this a minute, but I'm going to use my immersion blender to really get it nice and smooth. Okay, let's be back and try the blender. When I first bought this hand blender, I thought, Jesus, will I ever really use it? And you know what? I use it all the time. Now I'm not going to make you listen to this. I'll be back when I'm done. What can you see? It's really now nice and creamy. You of course can do this in your blender too, but I love using my immersion blender. Now, it's important to do a taste test too. See if this is really the spicing and everything you want. And I'm going to see if I want to add some lemon juice or not. Spicing's pretty good. I don't think it needs any lemon juice. Generally, when you dehydrate something, the taste intensifies. So you want to be careful not to have something too sweet or too spicy before you dehydrate it. Now when you're making your fruit leather in your dehydrator or in your oven, you don't want to do it directly on a mesh like this. You can use parchment paper, or I use the silicone Paraflex Ultra Sheets, and this works really well in peeling things back so things don't stick. I use a similar mat for making cookies in my oven, so if you're going to make a lot of fruit leather, you might want to invest in the Paraflex Ultra Sheet. Now we're going to want to pour this out on a tray. And you want it about 1/8 inch thick. I don't want to put too much on a tray. And I also don't want it too thin. Let's see how this spreads out. Now if you get this too thin, it doesn't really peel off well and it gets more brittle. So you want to try to have it about 1/8 inch thick or a little thicker. And of course it would be great if I could make these all completely even. You want it as even as you can get it. Oh, there. I think that's pretty good. Let's put this part. Okay, I'm going to put this one in the dehydrator and I'll do another tray. Now we're just going to place it in our dehydrator at about 135 degrees. If you're doing it in your oven, especially if you had a convection oven, like 150 degrees or below 170 degrees. But it's a long time to tie up an oven, so it's a great idea to buy a dehydrator. So I'm going to check on this in 6 hours and then 8 hours and then probably 10 hours. I'm thinking it's going to be between 8 and 10 hours to actually be ready. So here it is after 8 hours. You can see it's a little darker here, lighter here. Now, one of the signs of being done is that it should come off the sheet easy, and it does. It shouldn't be sticky to the touch at all, but I'm just thinking right in this area where it's darker, it needs just a little bit longer. So I'm going to put it in for another hour. Okay, I think this is done. See how easy that comes off? But what we're going to do is try to roll it, right? It's got to be a fruit roll-up. And you want to still be able to do this without it breaking. Oh, so I'd say that's about perfect. Okay, but I am going to put a little cornstarch on it so it doesn't stick. So we're just going to be safe here. Ah, that's good enough. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. There we got our roll. Oops, I have to taste that. So now we're just going to cut it. Oops, can you hear that? That's the edges. And that got a little too crispy. So I'm going to try some of this too crispy side. It definitely has a pumpkin pie spice. It makes a really different fruit roll-up. And of course, kids like to do this, right? Does it taste like pumpkin pie? No. But it's good, it's different. Alright, if you want to make a different fruit up, if you want to make a different fruit roll up, try this pumpkin leather. Mr. Potpourri saying, make a healthy fruit roll up today. And I will probably keep this in the refrigerator to be safe because, you know, it did have coconut milk in it. As always, please subscribe, share the knowledge. Thumbs up if you like this video.